So let's talk about America's team really quickly, guys. The Kansas City Chiefs, who ended up beating the Dallas Cowboys yesterday. I was really impressed with them. Second win for the Chiefs so far. Alex Smith did something that Matt Castle will never do in his life, which is get a first down conversion running the ball on 3rd and 15. So that was already incredible.
He looked like Steve Bono with the Chiefs when they did that bootleg 76-yard touchdown run. You remember that play?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Steve Bono, maybe the slowest quarterback in the history of the NFL. I don't know what. 10,
and how many yards was it
50,
for?
76, I believe.
And he married Cher right afterwards.
That's right. But he ran. I think Jonathan Alt, escorted him down. Like there was not a defender at any point. Like all 11 guys went, and Steve Bono, who is like, I don't know, Irina running downfield.
Yeah. You think you could beat him in a foot race?
Definitely. Steve Bono.
You think so? A 40-yard dash? You
No
could beat
question. No question.
Okay, so let's get into the Chiefs. I mean, I was impressed with them, especially how they limited Miles Austin. Dez Bryant had a good game.
I thought they were going to, crush the over/under for the season, which was at 7.5. I even, in one crazy bet, had them winning the division over the Broncos just because I got such great odds for it.
You know that's not going to happen.
No, I know, but look, the point is they're a really good team, and now they have a very good coach. So
Yes.
of course they're going to do much better.
The Todd Haley's, the Romeo Crennels are certainly over. They're on the back burner. And as you were saying, reiterating your point about coaching, look at the Cardinals. They're suddenly now totally relevant, and they look really good. Granted,
they blew a lead to the Rams the last week, and they beat the Lions. But
they would have blown the lead and lost by 40.
Yeah, I got you.
If it wasn't for Bruce Arians.
But I mean,
hold on.
Yeah.
Before we get on to that issue,
Yes.
It's not Bruce Arians as much as it is Carson Palmer. I mean, that's a huge upgrade from what they had before. Let's wait on Bruce Arians a little bit before we pass judgment.
They already look better than Hugh Jackson with the Raiders.
We don't have to wait on Andy Reid. Everybody knows Andy Reid's a great coach, but the Cardinals and the Chiefs last year had as bad a quarterback situation as I remember in my lifetime. So now they both got quarterbacks who
you can say they're Jaguars-like, right?
They have now league average or better than league average. They have professional quarterbacks, and it makes a difference. And the Chiefs needed major help on elsewhere around the ball too last year.
And the Chiefs, okay, so getting to Jeng's point, I mean, what they've done is they've assembled the right pieces over the years, especially on defense.
Yes.
And once you get enough pieces, your critical mass, that's when it really starts to deliver. That's what the Niners did too.
They had terrible injuries last year on defense. What I was trying to say.
And Arrowhead is like Seattle in some ways.
Yes.
It is a tough place to play, and all those things coming together, and they won, but they barely won, but it was still a great victory.
And let me just say, because I watched a lot of that game, and Tony Romo has as much to do with that game as the Chiefs did with winning it. I mean, for a guy who at times you think this guy is like Peyton Manning light, like he's good, those throws are sharp, they're on the money.
Have you ever thought that?
There are series. Well, I mean, the guy ended up every year that he plays 16 games, he ends up as the top 7 or 8 fantasy quarterback. He generates points, and then there were last week late in the game. I don't know whether it was 17-13 or 17-16. It was close though. He threw an interception. I think Eric Berry picked it off, and it was called back. And it was as bad a throw as there was in the world. And then it looked like at that moment, whatever happens to Tony Romo happened, because then he threw another ball that was nearly picked off, and he started throwing balls in the dirt quickly. He looked like Jim Everett all of a sudden. It's a guy who can look like Peyton Manning for a series.
You mean Chris Everett, right?
Look like late Jim Everett in another series. It's stunning. And I was talking to a friend of mine who, like in our fantasy league auction, spent a little money. He spent like $6 or $8 on Tony Romo because he's like it's subtle. You get him, and then you realize nobody's ever having fantasy success with Tony Romo as their quarterback. It's just not going to happen.
No, that's not true.
So, nobody's winning a title with Tony Romo.
Why isn't it true, Steve? Why isn't it true?
No, I'll tell you. Look, I can explain it.
That's why.
No, I'll explain everything. Okay, so everybody calm down.
Okay.
Thank
All
goodness.
right,
Here we
so
go.
first of all, Tony Romo is not Peyton Manning light. He's Phillip Rivers heavy. Okay, so he's like although I think Phillip Rivers is actually better than Tony Romo, but we'll see that throughout the year, okay? But Romo does win you fantasy championships from time to time, but that's when they have bad seasons and he's immediately behind and he's got to catch up. That's when he plays better. Then all of a sudden you're like, Tony Romo, here comes Tony Romo, oh my God, 3 touchdowns in a quarter. I'm so happy he's on my fantasy team. This year they're good enough that they're not always behind. And then he begins to choke. That's if you mean Peyton Manning light in that sense, you're right. Okay.
But aren't they already passing the ball because DeMarco Murray simply. I mean, he had a good opening game against the Giants, but then again, who didn't? This past game, he didn't look that good.
He just looked scared all of a sudden out of nowhere. And those throws, those throws have no chance to be caught at critical moments.
He's night and day. There's no question about that. But the bottom line is that they're still bumblers. So yes, Kansas City beat a horrible Jacksonville team, and they beat the bumbling Cowboys. So let's also remember that they didn't beat the 49ers and the Seahawks. So they're doing great.
And that's what'll prove it to you.
Right. So right now, KC, we're now for the first time beginning to overhype them, right? Yeah. And the Cowboys, don't underestimate how much they suck. They got good talent, okay? But their coaching still sucks, and Romo is a bumbler, and they lose a lot of games they shouldn't lose.
That's the main point about the Cowboys, and it goes to your earlier point about coaching. I think if they had a real coach, I think Tony Romo would be a winner because he's actually really good. But he makes key mental mistakes and just clownish confidence issues, and the whole offense is structured poorly because they never ever run for a touchdown. Ever. They pass for a touchdown. Even if they get inside the 5 and it's first down, they'll do a play action bootleg pass. They won't just pound it in. They never do that. And that's one of the reasons why Romo actually has good fantasy numbers. But in reality, he has a really high upside, but he also has a very low floor because they're massive bumblers. They can beat anyone, and they can lose to anyone.